Episode 773. After the Lord of Annihilation finished his line, one that hid 3 layers of implication, Chris Bean remained silent for a long time, offering no reply. He had already warned Xinlu not to get involved any further. Mi Tianzun knew Xinlu's temperament well. If Xinlu were the one to explain this, he'd definitely say that Sudu was being unreasonable and picking a fight over nothing. This was clearly pushing the guild into opposition against Kyudo. So after hearing the truth from Xinlu, Mi Tianzun immediately told him, "Go ahead and play, I'll handle this." Extinction Heaven waited patiently for Chris Bean's reply, while keeping an eye on the guild channel where New Road kept asking if anyone wanted to head to the ancient dragon abyss. He asked for a while, but no one answered. A sudden thought struck Mi Tianzun, and he sent another message to Xinlu.
I'll go with you.
Huh? You're going?
Xinlu was genuinely taken aback.
Wasn't that night supposed to be impressive? I've come to see for myself.
Keep your damage in check.
Of course.
He acknowledged the order and headed straight for the ancient dragon abyss. 9 waiting for 1, and after all that waiting, who shows up but the guild leader himself? The rest of the party was even more taken aback. A guild leader's position might be a thankless job, but in terms of status, it still outranks a main tank. The players in the party took one look at the situation. First their top tank was sitting in, and now the guild leader had personally joined, and suddenly felt their future in this guild was incredibly bright.
Everyone's here. Let's start.
After returning everyone's greetings with a smile, Mi Tianzun cheerfully spoke.
Enter the instance.
The new path indicated that while the guild leader had arrived, she was still the one calling the shots for the team. The party entered the dungeon and immediately engaged in battle. The MT was naturally Wudi Zui Jun, and Mi Tianzun didn't pay much attention to the others. He was only watching Wudi Zui Jun Lang's technique. As for this tank's skill, pulling small mobs only really shows how practiced they are. If you really want to gauge a tank's true skill, the situation needs to get chaotic. The more chaos, the better it shows their crowd control ability. So the Celestial Annihilator decided to deliberately mess up every now and then, accidentally pull a few extra mobs, maybe let an OT slip through. The point was to keep things chaotic, with something going wrong on the regular. Mi Tianzun had already come up with an excuse for the mistake. If they pull aggro, just say it's been a while since you ran this dungeon and you forgot. If you OT, just say your gear's too good and you couldn't hold back. Both are pretty solid excuses. Once the story was set, Annihilation Heavenly Sovereign put it into action immediately. He waited until the tank, Invincible Most Handsome Guy, was already busy, then deliberately took a wrong step and pulled 3 extra mobs.
My bad. Haven't been here in a while. Did they change this area? There weren't any mobs here before.
Mi Tianzun came back with the monsters, roaring all the way. The bystanders took one look and felt nothing but exasperation. But he was the guild leader. What could anyone say? Time to jump in and save him. Invincible Most Handsome, however, remained the calmest of them all. He completely ignored the 3 monsters the guild leader had pulled, letting them wail on the leader without lifting a finger. He simply said,
DPS the 3 ads. Hold on, guild leader.
In other words, you'll be the tank for now. Under normal circumstances, that would be hard to sustain, especially with only 1 cleric in the party. But Mi Tianzun's gear was top tier. It completely outclassed Kuidu's equipment. Sure, his defense wasn't as good as Kuidu's, but who actually pays attention to defense when you're steamrolling a dungeon? What matters is attack power, the strongest attack power. Mi Tianzun was losing health fast, sure, but while he led the other DPS players in hammering the mobs, those mobs were dropping even faster. In the end, he gritted his teeth and took down all 3 of them. Invincible Handsome only turned his camera a few times, glancing over to show he cared. Mi Tianzun was frustrated. He was just too strong. Every time he pulled aggro, he'd end up tanking the ads into the ground himself. If he pulled any more aggro, he couldn't tank it. Not even Invincible Handsome could handle that. This plan was a no-go too. Pull too few, and they wouldn't even bother chasing you. You'd have to tank them yourself. Pull too many, and everyone dies. Might as well just die now and skip the rescue entirely, right? Luring failed. Moving to Plan B, Pull OT. The Celestial Vanquishers class was Striker, a pure DPS class through and through. Mi Tianzun started hammering like a madman, and after all that pounding, he finally hammered up a problem. He was outputting like crazy, so why the hell couldn't he pull OT? Why is it so hard to cause a little trouble? Mi Tianzun, persistent as ever, kept trying to cause an OT. But right up until the final boss fell, and he'd climbed to an absolutely dominant spot on the DPS meter, he still hadn't managed to pull aggro even once. But Mi Tianzun no longer needed to test the waters. Not pulling OT was still a result. After all that reckless, brainless DPS, the tank still held aggro solidly. This Wudi Zujunlang's skill might really be stronger than Suidu's.
Pretty impressive, huh?
After the dungeon run, Xinlu spoke to Mi Tianzun. He had no idea what was going through Mi Tianzun's mind, but the whole fight had gone smoothly, with everything under control. Invincible Most Handsome didn't make a single mistake. Everything a top-tier T could do, he did it all.
Not bad.
Heaven-destroying Sovereign nodded. This Invincible Most Handsome was far more formidable than he had imagined. No wonder he had put Kyudo under so much pressure. If this person could develop smoothly, he would be more than enough to replace Kyudo's position. On any normal day, having someone this formidable join would be a cause for celebration. But this time, the newcomer clashed with the guild's main tank, making things difficult to handle. During the dungeon run, Kuidu had already responded, and the 3 hidden hints from Mi Tianzun ultimately failed. Having lost face, Crispy Bean held a deep grudge against Invincible Most Handsome, and made it clear that if he was around, there was no room for him. As for which side to choose, Mi Tianzun had already made up his mind. But after witnessing Invincible's sheer skill, Mi Tianzun couldn't help but feel a pang of regret at losing such a talent. From the perspective of the Michin Guild's leader, this person could no longer be kept. But from the perspective of the tyrannical dominance sub-guild leader, this guy was actually pretty easy to handle. Mi Tianzun quickly contacted Zhang Yu, the president of the overbearing guild, and bluntly stated that he had found a knight player with impressive skills. However, this player had just joined the guild and already gotten into a conflict with other members, making things tricky. He asked Zhang Yu to figure out a way to recruit this person into another guild.
Is that so? I'll handle it. What's his name?
Zhang Yu asked, immediately taking seriously anyone talented enough that even the heaven-destroying Venerable couldn't bear to let go.
Invincible Most Handsome.
Extinguish the Heavenly Lord replied.
That name's quite arrogant, isn't it?
Arrogant indeed, but he has reason to be. I just ran a dungeon with him. The way he held aggro was rock solid, almost unreal. I deliberately tried to pull OT, wanted to see what he was made of, but I couldn't do it. My gear is still a tier below his.
That's strong? I'll make the arrangements as soon as possible.